This is where the fun begins. This is where the fun begins. This is where the fun. This is where the fun. This is where the fun begins.
Who's the big guy with the muscles?
This is where the fun begins.
Who's the big guy with the muscles?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Toy Anxiety. It is Tuesday night. It is 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We are back home from New York Comic Con. And as Ryan said in his live stream yesterday, yeah, you might have seen somebody post about something, which I loved. We had to make sure everybody knew what was happening and what we were doing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you for being here. We have a special guest tonight. We're here. Sometimes us being here is the actual miracle. The fact that we do it every week.
We made it.
We're
back.
I'm proud of us.
It's always surprising. Before we say hello to everybody, let's say hi to our guest joining us for the first time here on the channel, Dan Larson. I don't think he needs an introduction, but I'll do it anyway. Dan, Toy Galaxy, we're going to call top tier. It's not, I can't even say top tier toy YouTube, just entertainment, production value, quality content, a pioneer. We wouldn't be doing the things we do if you didn't do the things you did. So Dan, thank you for joining us tonight.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that introduction. That is too kind of you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Did I get it right?
I'm usually watching the show, and even if I'm not in chat, I'm usually watching. So it's good to be here with
We
everybody.
appreciate it. We appreciate it.
that.
Yeah, the chat appreciates it too.
Yeah,
The chat appreciates
I came prepared. I've got just I don't know where the show's going to go, but I've got the only Ghostbusters toy that I own.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
You're ready.
Whoa.
I've got a Superpowers Superman,
Yes.
Oh, Ryan.
and a Toy Biz Ghost Rider, just in case I need some hot takes.
Thank you.
And then I got my talking electronic Sylvanian family rabbit here. So.
What?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God! Like
Everything.
Abby's looking that up on eBay
let's
right
just
now.
do that.
I didn't know they
straight
made
up.
electronic talking Sylvanian.
That's perfect for the
calico
show.
critters. Yeah, you're set. That's like the actually we sent all that to Dan. I was like, show this off at the beginning. It's the Toy Anxiety kit. I'm sure we will talk about Ghost Rider. There's so much happening in the world of toys. We're gonna say hi to the chat in a second. Let's go ahead and say hi to our co-hosts all the way from Vancouver, British Columbia, the man who will be heading all the way to Toronto to celebrate Halloween. We learned this before. This is very exciting. So if you're in Toronto on Halloween, very much like Michael Myers, just go out into the streets, look for Ryan. But
I'll be on Church Street for Halloween.
okay.
So that's where I'll be. You'll find me. You'll
All right.
hear me. Trust me.
By the sign.
On the weekend before, on the Friday of the 21st, I believe, we're all going to be myself, Paul Seong-Young Lee, as you know from Fun Boxing, maybe The Mandalorian, maybe Kim's Convenience. He's a Canadian icon. We're going to be
But
celebrating
not from
his 50th
Hasbro.
That's not for Hasbro. That's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Or Hot Toys. He doesn't
Yeah.
have a Hot Toy yet either.
Man.
But we're all going to be partying with him at the Stormcrow. It's an open invitation party. You just need to buy a ticket. It's a charity event as well. So we'll be there on the Friday. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm stoked. I'm
Very
ready
cool.
to go.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready to pack up and tell my job I'm out of here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And also, Ryan, we should say happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Happy problematic Canadian holiday. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying it exists, and you took the day off. You deserve the day off. So,
Oh, thank you.
and you did a great job. Ryan did a stream yesterday called Flippin' Star Wars, where you went through original Star Wars magazine from the '90s and kind of went through it piece by piece, read your favorite blurbs, highlighted things that excited you. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Oh,
That sounds
thank
awesome.
you.
Yep.
Enjoyed it.
I kind of got the idea from Cartoonist Kayfabe. They've been doing that with Wizard magazines. And they go
Oh,
through and they
right.
pick it apart. And because they're two guys that unfortunately, I don't work in the Star Wars industry. I'm just a lifelong fan.
Right.
And but those two work in comics and they know all these people. And so it's really interesting to see how they pick it apart. And they could tell you kind of the history of some of these articles, even some of the advertisements. and how the people that ran Wizard also ran a comic store and were able to control the market in favor of their comic store. It's pretty interesting stuff. So
Yeah,
I love
nice
that kind
little
of stuff.
tidbits.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. So and it didn't exist for Star Wars, believe it or not, and I
Cool.
wanted to do it. So
Well, I didn't know
there
where
it
to
is.
put it on the channel, so I created a playlist called World of Dole, and that's where it is. So you can find it there, and it's awesome. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing great. I had a milestone today. I paid off my Kraken today,
Ooh,
so I get to
Wow.
go buy something else.
so milestones in a person's life. You've got,
Is when you unexpectedly don't realize that you're having, hundreds of dollars being taken out of your account today.
yeah, there you go. But you're
But
done.
it's paid off. I'm done. It's awesome.
It's
It
like
feels
getting your
good.
driver's license. You did it. You did the work, and now you have a Kraken. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
Um,
Congrats, Jake.
Thank you.
Congrats on your Kraken. Have you told your parents? Or you told your mom?
Well, I'm easing my mom into it.
Okay, cool, very cool. And Abigail, how are you?
Dude, great. I was just on the front porch starting Halloween.
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
That's how I
before the show,
relax.
I'm like, I'm setting up, and I hear Abby just starting a movie on the front porch. Well, what are you doing?
Evil dies tonight. Yeah. It's how I chill out before the show. I'm doing well. thanks.
Actually, what happened, not to put you on the spot, I walked out, and Abby goes, "Hey, I look like Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie." I'm like,
What?
okay. That's what you said to me.
I said my sweater
your
looks like the
sweater.
one she's wearing.
Oh, I was like, maybe a group of teenagers walk by and they go, "Is that Mad Max from Stranger Things?" watching
Shut
the movie on
up,
the porch?"
Ryan. Oh, stay away from the skaters.
Anyway, so before we get into it, because there's a lot to cover, a lot to go through, and we do have Dan here with us, let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. We're going to go ahead and say hi to everybody. We do have our after show tonight. If you're part of the I know what we're called, YHS Patreon, you can join us for Extreme Toy Anxiety tonight after the show. We'll get into more of that later. Let's say hi to the chat. Tony Taylor is here. Brandon Shelton, Matt Bush, Brock Parker, Bacon McShig, Thunderhouse Design, Shiny Plastic People, BC, DeLorean, and other movie cars, which is the most literal and perfect description of that person. That he is there and he's got the DeLorean and other movie cars. It's fantastic.
Mhm.
Odin 1, Jason Kreiser, Brian is here, BTG is here, Bork, Chris Daughtry, not the one from American Idol, the better one, in my opinion. Mike Hex, David Cabal, Jay Andrew, Jessica Parker, Stephen Lawrence, Grady is Shit Pirate, Death Saves.
Cool.
Who's still? I can't get out of my Thunder Tank because Big Bad Toy Store won't give me my damn refund. We'll get into that too. Gotham Stalker's here. Charlie's here. Shiny Plastic People, I think I already said him. Flash, Michael Miller, SoCal, and so on and so on. Thank you to all of our channel members. If you want to get into that, it's 99 cents a month. Click the join channel button. You get fun emojis and badges and
Stickers.
stickers and priority chats and things like that. Okay. We did it. This
Yeah,
was
thanks
fun.
for hanging out, everyone.
Yeah, that's
cool.
great.
Yes.
All right, so let's take a deep breath, figure out how everybody's week in toys is going. Like I said, we are at New York Comic Con. We briefly, Hasbro didn't have a booth, but there was a Marvel booth. And we did get a chance briefly to talk to Ryan Ting. We saw the HasLab up close and personal. Jake, I wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah.
Did seeing the Engine of Vengeance in person, how did it make you feel? Like, did it sway you? Were you impressed? Because we haven't really had a chance to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I think a lot of the time seeing the toys in person is kind of a game changer, but seeing it with the lights going and all the flame accessories, it's very cool. I'm still not buying it, but it looks great. It and the other figures, the extra figures, it all looks awesome. Like I think anybody who loves Ghost Rider would maybe want to pick it up. But
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks great. It's definitely impressive when it's in its glory with
Right.
the flames going and the lights flickering and everything.
Mhm.
But
Dan, where are you on this HasLab campaign? Because I haven't followed what your stance is so far.
I think it's incredible. I think it's a gorgeous piece. The car is amazing. The engineering is amazing. The design is incredible. The figures that are included that we know of so far are fantastic. For me, it's just not for me, as a collector. I don't really do play sets. I don't do vehicles, especially at the 1/12 scale. It's just too much space. I did go for the Hiss. That's an exception because
Right.
GI Joe is up here for me, pretty much above everything else. So Hiss I'm in on, but everything else is pretty much a pass if we're talking vehicles. And
Okay.
for $350, which I'm not taking any issue with the pricing. I know how they work. You price it out for the whole thing with all the tiers unlocked and stuff. And at that point, I still think it's a great deal. It's just not the Ghost Rider that I would want to have in my collection, you know. I would prefer a Dan Ketch. I know that makes me a child of the 90s, you know, comics and stuff. But I think that's what a lot of fans were sort of looking for. So I'm not underselling the project that they put together, but it's not for me.
Yeah. Abigail, you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. The glow is nice. Flames are nice. But like Dan, like you just said, it's not necessarily for me. I don't have like a lot of invested interest in that character. It was impressive though. I will say, like seeing it in person and getting footage. It's a nice package, and I encourage those who are into that to go for it. But yeah, not for me.
Yeah. We won't spend a whole lot of time on Ghost Rider because we've been talking about it a lot. But Ryan, do you have anything else to say? Unfortunately, it's starting to kind of drop. Like it, and I don't think this Eternia tomorrow is going to help the cause at all. So Ryan, long-term forecasting, do you think this bad boy is getting funded?
I don't, which is unfortunate because, like Dan said, the figures it comes with is amazing. That Madeline Pryor, for some reason, the photos from New York City Comic Con look way better than any other photo we've seen so far of both Mephisto, who we all know from WandaVision fame.
The end of WandaVision.
Right, and Madeline Pryor, they both look so much better at the photos from the con.
Yeah.
And it has me totally bummed out that we're not going to get them any other way because of Satanic Panic and whatever. But I mean, like, I would love nothing more than to have more Satan on my shelves.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and I really wish we were getting it. Unfortunately, too, like, I am also not backing it. I want to. It's weird. I'm in this torn position of, like, I want to back it because I want Marvel Legends to do more modern versions of characters. I feel like Marvel Legends is very much hit at this weird wall of the 90s that it just can't seem to get through. And but I get 90s Cell as well, right? Again, these are targeted towards our generation, and those are the ones that we want.
Right.
But yeah, no, I it's so too bad because look how beautiful that is with all the lights going. Looks so cool.
The display was amazing. Like, and the figures look great. And it's one of those weird things. Like, I don't know if it doesn't fund, we might never. This might have been the only chance to see it. So, you know, we love the Marvel team, and they do a really good job at everything they do. So
I think it would have made a really big difference if people had Galactus in hand.
That is a really good point, because you're asking folks to make another $300 or $400 investment before they got the last.
Yeah, we've lapped it.
Right. I think maybe because GI Joe pulled it off without having, you know, much information at all on what's going on with Sky Striker, like we saw it at Comic-Con. But his tank was so, like, out of this world successful. But I think there's a little bit of that. GI Joe is kind of like Star Wars with the world building. Like, vehicles are a very important piece of the puzzle. Marvel Legends fans are action figure fans first and foremost. At least that's my impression. So, yeah.
I don't know. I would agree and disagree with that as a Marvel guy, just because, you know, I would love nothing more than a Danger Room playset for my shelf. For my X-Men, I would love nothing more than that. I know a Blackbird would be way, way, way too big. Right. That would be unaffordable in Hasbro prices. You know, if this is already unaffordable for some people, we're never getting a Blackbird jet. Right.
Well, you know, the fans have to speak with their wallet, right? Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, if it's. Mm-hmm. If they can't find 9,000 people to back it, like that's a hefty amount of people. They got to 5,000 pretty quickly, and then I think and we're going to talk about it with this Eternia. I think that early bird might have been it kind of backfired because people now are saying they're seeing a value loss. But anyways, so that's I don't have much to say about that. Okay, so 5,192. I believe it had gotten over 6,000 at one point. So not looking good. Dan,
Still love the team.
Love the it has nothing to do with the team.
Yeah.
Dan, what is there's a lot of discussion right now in the toy community about the HasLab and crowdfunding projects as of, the toy companies say, hey, this is the only viable way to do this, which I tend to believe because there's just no way to get that shelf space in retail. What's your opinion on it? Are you backing these? Is it just a case by case basis? Like, what is when you see a new thing launch, like we're going to talk about Eternia, like what is the cycle through your head? What does it need to check off for you to make the investment?
Yeah, I have no problem with crowdfunding. I mean, if it works for individuals and smaller businesses, why can't it work for giant corporations too? Who cares? It's the whole business is like mitigating risk. And if they can get those orders up front and get the money in the bank 2 years before they have to ship the thing without having to produce anything, why wouldn't they do it that way? It's
right.
Common sense. It's business 101. You can clip that. It just I don't get the pushback on it. They're $1 billion corporation. They can afford to do whatever they want. It's not acknowledging that the entire market has shifted. Toys R Us is gone. The orders aren't put. They're not in at the quantities that they used to be. They don't produce as many units as they did. So if you want to see these crazy things as adult collectors, then this is the route. If you don't want it, then they're just not going to do them.
Right, and that's the point I keep coming to, and that's what Jake and all of us have been talking about is Eternia is coming up, right? If you are taking like an ethical stance against like that level of $1 billion corporation capitalism, like that, you have every right to do that, and I happen to align with a lot of the politics on that side of the aisle when it comes to that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, there is no other option to get Eternia. So you're either going to pay $2,500 for a vintage one if you can find one, or you're going to pay $550 and hope that it funds. But there's not going to be a third option where they're like, guess what just showed up at Ollie's, everybody? All these Eternias, and they're $100. Can you believe
they're not
that?
gonna all end up in Big Lots
Yeah,
at the end of the subscription service.
Yeah, this isn't Maddie Collector, okay?
Yeah.
Sir Davey, thank you for the super chat. I can't see how anyone compares it to a Bratz car when they see the lights flicker so beautifully behind the flames. Yeah, the presentation is incredible. Definitely makes up a big difference seeing it up close. So, okay, Ryan, did you see all the MOTU news this morning?
I did. I somehow managed to get through a majority of it. I'd like to thank Jay and John for their 7 a.m. stream that I could wake up to and watch.
Good morning,
while
Toys.
I shower.
Good morning, Toy America.
That's Dad.
Yeah, right. With all their, with the news on it, and they covered it pretty well. It's man, those tears are kind of. It's funny. The little creature that lives under the bridge.
Yeah.
To me, that's the most exciting thing out of there. Like
nothing
exciting against like the elder that it comes with and King Grayskull and all that stuff, but that little creature, that's my 550 right there.
So just for those who don't know what we're talking about, so a bunch of toy tubers and Mattel had an influencer day, which I love. That's what they called it, because I think people are trying to get away from the word influencer. But
we'll have an influencer day or something.
Right, exactly. So shout out to Toy Shiz and Pixel Dan and others for getting this really great content and providing everything today.
Hold up.
Ryan?
Where did you get this from?
The internet.
Oh, I didn't see this. Hang on. I know we're going to get into it, but I got to geek out here for a moment.
Sure. This is why we do this.
Are those attachments for Grayskull and Snake Mountain?
As far as do those things do they attach directly to the
right to make
playsets?
One giant massive playset?
I don't know. I
think we're assuming that. I think this image was definitely in Pixel Dan's video. I don't know if it was in other videos. But he didn't actually directly address it.
Right.
Okay.
I would, before we cover anything, I'll just say it a million times. Pixel Dan had great coverage. Toy Shiz, a couple other Twitter accounts. I want to make sure everybody gets their proper shout outs because they
I
were
have
there.
to say it was also adorable seeing Pixel Dan take a photo at Mattel with his book.
Oh, it was cute. We
It
love
was
Pixel
like-
Dan.
Mhm.
I love it. It made me so happy because you could tell that's a genuine happy man right there, and it
Yep.
was great.
So I jotted down some of the deets here because I actually prepared tonight, first time ever. So we're at 4 feet wide and almost 3 feet tall. You got the working monorail. The monorail can. People are already complaining that it takes up too much space. They don't have it yet, but they're already complaining. So Mattel thought about it ahead of time. You can actually separate the towers and have the monorail just go around the main tower if you want to have things, displayed. If you want to, instead of have like a Eternia in the corner of your toy room, but have it like a whole Eternia land with
Mhm.
different towers and different parts, you can do whatever you want. And we'll get into the backers and everything. So, Dan, you're our guest. We covered this pretty extensively last couple weeks. Where are you on MOTU Origins and MOTU in general? And is this gonna scratch an itch for you? Even though you said you don't do play sets.
Yeah,
and this
I
is
don't do play
so
sets really
big.
at all. They
Mhm.
just take up too much space. There's too much going on there. I didn't have the original Eternia, so I don't have any emotional, nostalgic connection to it
Right.
in any way. I have a couple of pieces. I was a dealer for a while, and so I have a few pieces from the original Eternia just sort of left over in bins and stuff. But even my, I don't have my Castle Grayskull set up. I don't have my Snake Mountain set up. It's just my shelves are just for the figures at this point. As far as the Masters of the Universe lines are concerned, it's really just if one particular character hits me, if a particular figure design hits me, I'll grab it. But I'm not by any means all in on any of the lines. In fact, I didn't have really any Origins until PowerCon 2 months ago.
Okay.
And that was really more because I was sitting next to Pixel Dan
Right.
and Mike's Vintage Toys was on my left. And I was like, I'm at PowerCon. I got to buy a He-Man guy.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what happens. I the first time I talked to Pixel Dan, like afterwards, I was like, should I only collect Masters of the Universe? Like, if I've been
It's
missing,
contagious, yeah.
if I've been missing out.
So we bought him
one-
twice just to make
yeah,
up for it.
That's a whole other story. For context, this He-Man that they have on display here is actually a Masterverse figure. So even if you're not collecting Origins, maybe you just have Masterverse or MOTU Classics or something like that. There's still going to be a lot of cool display ability. But yeah, this thing's massive. So let's kind of cycle through some of the shots here so we can talk about the what do you call these things? The unlockables, the tiers. Now, Ryan, did we talk about what we thought the tiers were going to be? Did we
I
like
think
predict
we
anything?
assumed there wasn't going to be just due to what it already came with.
Right.
Like to
Sure.
me, this is still a play set that doesn't require tiers. Like even if they don't make it and you just get the basic, I'll be bummed out if I don't get that little creature. But
yeah, I was drawn to that as
Well,
well.
so it's
Yeah.
8,000 to unlock the moat creature, 10,000
creature.
for Keklar. Keklar, is that his name? Leader of the Elders.
Do you know where he's from?
Please tell me.
He's from
Well,
the
looks like
mini
he's from the
comic that
gym.
comes with the Eternia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And obviously we have King Grayskull as the early bird. So we talked a little bit earlier about how the early bird can be a deterrent if it doesn't fund, right? So let's say Eternia starts tomorrow and they hit 2,000, they hit 3,000, and they got to hit that 5,000 within a week because you got to get that exclusive figure. Let's say they fall short of that and now they're at like 4,000 or 4,500, and then people go, well, there's some weird psychological thing that happens where people go, well, I really wanted that figure. Now I'm not getting it at all. Like, you would think that's ridiculous, but that is kind of what's happening with the Engine of Vengeance. So I don't know. Let's roundtable. Let's do some predictions. Ryan, I'll start with you. Do you think A, that this is going to fund and possibly hit some of these unlockables? And B, do you see it funding in this first week?
Oof. I do believe it's going to fund. I do believe it's. I'm curious. I don't want to say whether it's going to fund within the first week or not, because that's a really hard call. Because it's this weird thing again of people. There are still going to be people complaining, going, "Why isn't it $150?" But at the same time, I get that. Like these things are expensive. This is as premium of a place that you can get. You know what? And again, I think these three characters, I think having King Grayskull being the last one is smart. I don't know. I think this is going to fund. I think it's fully going to fund. I don't know if it's going to do it within the first week, but I think once one tier goes, I think the rest are just going to go with it. Also, I want to just point out one other mini comic cut.
Yes.
The artist that drew the Eternia mini comic from the original was the legendary Bruce Timm from Batman Animated Series. So there you go. There's another thing. Okay.
Dan, how about yourself? Do you see this funding based on all of the information we have?
I think it's got a real good shot. I think if it funds, it is going to fund in the first week, because I think there'll be a precipitous drop off in interest if that, because a lot of people complained about the way Hasbro was handling the early bird sort of idea, where if you get to that tier in that certain amount of time, it unlocks the early bird, but everybody can get it. Whereas here, my understanding is that if you don't back it in the first week, you do not get that figure, just like the Ghost Rider, because everybody got it for the hiss tank.
Right.
Ghost Rider, you can only get it in the first week. It's my understanding that that's how they're doing it with this one as well.
I believe so. And it's different because this early bird stuff started with the WWE ring last year, where it was really struggling. So they added the Macho Man figures like an early bird, and that really kind of helped it. But there's a whole lot of people who ordered it after the cutoff who didn't get the Macho Man, who it's kind of a marketing, it's part of the problems with these HasLabs and these crowdfundings. It's still early days, even though this stuff's been in existence for 5 or 10 years, whatever. There's like this education where the customer needs to kind of learn the parameters, right? So hopefully there's been enough of these so far where people kind of understand what's going on, but that's not the case, because you see people ask questions every day, like, wait, what's going on? How do I get this? Why is it $550? The original was $90.
Yeah, I think it has a good shot to get funded in the ultimately and in the first week. And like a lot of people in chat here are pointing out, if you're trying to put a vintage one together, this is a huge discount.
Yeah, let's go to the chat here. Yeah, it's $1,070 in Canada. Ryan, have you figured out what you're going to do yet?
I think I'm going to see if any of my friends down in right across the border in Seattle can if I can get it shipped to them, and then I'm just gonna go drive across and go get it for far less.
I would get it shipped to the border patrol little office there.
Yeah,
but on the United States,
they would love that.
Hold for Ryan Dole.
Yeah.
Let's go to the chat here. Let's see. Somebody predicted that who was it? I just saw it. They said it's going to get fully funded in 24 hours.
Oh, I saw that.
I think if it's going to do it, it will do it in the first week.
It was Tony Taylor, huh? There we go.
Yeah.
Tidiri.
It has to have that momentum.
Jake, what do you feel? You've seen it in person. You're not a MOTU guy, though.
I mean, I think it's getting funded for sure. I don't want to talk down to Ghost Rider, but
don't talk down to Ghost Rider.
I'm not
That's
talking
the name of
down
this
to
episode.
I would do it.
This feels like a big deal to me. I mean, it's not something I'm going to buy, but it's something I walked around Target for 45 minutes today with a Pigman 3-pack in my arms, like I was going to buy it.
How did it feel?
You're almost back in on Origins.
I almost backed in on Origins. Yeah, from Pigman. I think this is a big deal. In the toy world, and I think a lot of people really want it. And I know that a lot of people complain about it, but I feel like the people complaining they're just the loudest people. I think it's surely getting funded.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. I think the MOTU fan base is dedicated, educated, and has been at this for a long time. Yeah, I feel like it's going to get funded.
Yeah.
Dan, what I want to ask you though, because I know G.I. Joe's your wheelhouse. You were all in on Sky Striker. In fact, the episode you did with Geek Dad Life, where you guys basically did let's drum up some interest here, and you were basically like, people, this is important. And that was the night I funded it. I was like, you know what? If Dan says
Thank
do
you.
They
it,
got you. They
do
got
it.
you.
It also led me to buying a USS Flag like 2 weeks later because I was like, I'm gonna need somewhere to put
Thank
it.
Yeah.
If this funds, do you see Hasbro considering some large scale GI Joe retro play sets?
I think they're keeping an eye on it, but they got to deal with their own internal problems first.
Yes, there's a lot going on at Hasbro right
if
now.
Ghost Rider goes down, then that's Ghost Rider, that's the Riva lightsaber, that's the Rancor. They're going to start reassessing what they're doing with their own internal programs first.
Right. I mean, that's a good thing though, right? Like, because if something's not working, I think Star Wars is its own weird
problem.
I don't want to talk about Star Wars tonight. I just don't. Can we just not?
Let's have
Have a
fun.
good night. Yeah.
Let's have fun. And not talk about Star
Mhm.
Wars.
We can talk about Indiana Jones. I just don't want to talk about Star Wars. We have a super chat from Jim. This is like Hasbro building a proton pack, but for MOTU fans. This is an accessible Grail fulfillment. That's a really good point, right?
Mhm.
Like the proton pack was what, $500, but that's the most affordable proton pack you're ever going to get. So people were willing to do it, and it became extremely successful. And we're all Ghostbusters fans, and I didn't think it was going to fund. I was like, "There's no way," but it did, and I was happy about it. So, I mean, I wasn't being pessimistic. I was just
That's the power of Pam.
Pam on the Hasbro team. She did it. I personally think it just depends on what GI Joe does. I know they're fully in on classifieds, and the retro stuff is not their focus right now. But I think if they announced a Flag or a Defiant or one of those just mega classic play sets, I could see people being pretty excited about it.
If they did a new Terradrome, I think I'd be in trouble.
You would be
Oh,
in so
shit,
much
yeah.
trouble.
That is one place that I've always wanted as a kid. But I mean, if you have Eternia as a kid, you're not going to be getting every major giant playset. So the Terradrome was kind of like that one I always wanted, never got, still don't have it. So if they ever did one like they did the Sky Striker and just made a new one, freshened it up and added more detail, it would be an easy yes for me.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. So there's a lot of MOTU news, but I don't want to spend so much time on it. But we have to talk about the other big thing, right? Like there's going to be a Moss Man. It's going to be a Walmart exclusive because of the flocking. This is where we are now, right? If you're flocked, you're an exclusive. You're an exclusive.
Mhm.
But they announced the Origins Snake Mountain, which I was really surprised of because I mean I knew they were going to do it eventually, but I think it helps the Eternia because people start thinking down the road, like, well, I have Gray Skull, I'm going to need Eternia, I'm going to need Snake Mountain. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those screenshots as well. And we will move on to some weekly pickups and some other toys goings ons. It's weird to add an S at the end of every word in a sentence, but I did it. Okay, so this is a first prototype. Thank you to Planet Eternia for this image. The snake is insane looking, and I know they're going to fix it. But Ryan, what'd you think? You're a Snake Mountain aficionado.
This is... Oh, am I?
Tonight you are.
Oh, okay. Oh, wild. I think this is awesome. Anytime there's a trapdoor in a play set, I'm 100% in. Trapdoors are my Jesus. I love them. I also love that throne for
Write that
Skeletor. I think that is awesome. And whatever that little puddle monster creature area thing is, I don't know what that is, but I'm all for that too. I think this is a great upgrade.
Stickers originally. Sorry.
What? Sorry.
Some of those characters I think were on the original internal stickers, and now they're like.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
that's
Right,
cool.
of course, that makes perfect sense. And because they just did the same thing with the add-ons for those exclusives add-ons for the
Right.
Grayskull as well. They
Right,
did the
right.
same thing where they sculpted them out. But yeah, no, this is great. I think I heard Jay complaining, saying, "Oh, I wish they had the microphone," and I was like, "So do I," because I think us as adults forgot how to play with our toys and enjoy them, and I think we should be playing with these, and I think we should be using those microphones to record this show.
I love that. Yeah.
A whole
Agreed.
We should do a whole episode where you Snake Mountain microphones.
Yeah. We have to be the first.
Mhm.
Somebody asked me, David says, what happened to the Super 7 Snake Mountain? I sold it. It was great, but it was so big and just was sitting on the floor And I
And
actually,
he needs that space for Eternia, guys.
Yeah.
yeah,
Space danger awareness, y'all.
yeah, a year ahead of time, I was
It
like, I bet they're going to
happens.
do an Eternia. I'm going to
Yeah.
need that space. So I sold it.
Mhm.
So yeah, lots of fun MOTU stuff. The coverage is everywhere. Geeked Out Life, Pixel Dan. They're putting in the work. Eternia goes on sale tomorrow. I'm very excited as a toy collector to see how this goes. I really hope for all the MOTU fans. I want to buy it, but we'll see. It's expensive. I mean, I think that's one thing we need to like discuss. Like, $550 is a lot of money. Like, it doesn't charge you, I think, till
Oh, whatever.
November.
Yours is half the price of mine.
It's almost a Kraken.
It's almost
Mhm.
one Kraken.
Congrats again on the Kraken.
How much was that Kraken? Is that-
That's 3
More
months
than
of
that.
Starbucks.
more than that?
Paid off. That's all that matters.
Did the
3 months of
Kraken come
Starbucks,
with
that's what that
a
is.
King Grayskull or anything?
What about a
No,
moat monster?
No.
it came with
No.
a water base.
There you go.
That's nice.
So Dan, let me pick your brain for a second. You're our guest. So what is getting you? And then we'll get to weekly pickups because I know I don't have anything, but I know some of our other folks do from our trip. What's getting you really excited about toys as far as modern collecting goes? Because it seems like every day there's something new to get excited about and spend our money on.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, having been, an action figure collector my entire life, I consider myself just sort of a spectator, an observer of the whole industry. And it's exciting right now just to see what keeps happening and what the sort of trends are and what the different approaches are to selling this stuff, fulfilling it, designing it, the prices, all that sort of thing. I don't really get I don't take it as a personal affront when the price goes up. It just has me step back and say, is this something I still want to pursue? I'm doing what every other collector is doing right now, and that's reassessing my collection and saying, what am I really that interested in?
Yep.
Because, where I used to be able to buy 4 things, now I can only buy 3 or 2 in some cases. And
Right.
when surprise things like that 4 horsemen, headless horseman pop up,
Right.
and you go like, I need to drop $130 today.
Right,
in
right.
a second.
Fuck us all up.
I want to be able to do those kinds of things and not feel guilty about it. Like,
Mhm.
that's sort of where I'm at with my collection. So I've purged a lot of stuff recently, but I am still collecting essentially the same stuff I collected years ago, Boba Fett's and G.I. Joe and Star Wars stuff, and then miscellaneous Gundam or Japanese robots, these kinds of things here and there, and then just whatever else catches my eye, a Fortnite figure, a Transformer, whatever else. I don't, there's the only lines I've really drawn is Ninja Turtles. Once the NECA movie Turtles came out, I said, that's it. Those are my ideal turtles. I'm done. I don't do any more Ninja Turtle stuff.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Earthrise, Optimus, Studio Series, Hot Rod. It's kind of like, okay, I think I can take a break from those characters for a while. too.
Right. I mean, one thing I've learned, and this is good discussion here, if you can remove the FOMO, like if you can actively, yes, John. If somebody said John wasn't in the chat, he just manifested. With
Yeah.
John, your
Yeah.
cable wasn't even
Gundam.
he wasn't even watching the show,
Yeah.
but still heard Dan say Gundam.
If you can remove the FOMO and the completionist kind of thing, and listen, everyone in the chat's about to make fun of me, but I'm
What
trying.
else is new?
Yeah, they even do it in person. If you can remove that and really focus on the things that genuinely make you happy, not I need this because I have to buy a toy today to because I'm a toy collector and we host a toy show. Like the Headless Horseman's a perfect example. No one saw it coming. Everybody simultaneously went, that's amazing. That is something I either want or am going to buy. Mine will be here soon. I got a shipping notification. But it's really tough because thank you, David. It's tough because this industry, it's getting bigger. And we saw it during the pandemic where it was like all these like people who you never would think in like collecting toys were like buying classified figures and all. Now there's like lines out the door at Target to buy, Cobra Island Troopers. And then I'm like, well, I know more about G.I. Joe than this guy at least. Why don't I get a Cobra Island Trooper? Like you get down to that mindset. It's really tough though, because the other thing is the quality has gone up. The toys are fantastic. Like these companies are really putting out great product. And Jake, you said you went to Target today and it was just like stacked.
Yeah, I was surprised. It's I haven't been into the Target since before we went to New York Comic Con, but usually it's it's basically the same stuff every time I go, with maybe one or two new things. But today it was like a complete rehaul, and it was like stocked with a lot of Star Wars stuff for the first time in a long time. The new Masters of the Universe. There was tons of NECA. It was just like I was there on a trip specifically for like home stuff. I was like, no toys today.
No.
And then I
That
went in
never
there
works.
and I literally walked around, and I didn't buy a toy, but I swear to you, I had a cart full of toys for a while. And then I was like, what am I doing? I was like, put
You're
this
just
back.
trying them
Like,
on.
I was trying them on, and I was like, you know what? I'm not. But it's like the excitement of just seeing a bunch of new toys. And I was like, whoa,
that's
these are cool.
sort of an interesting point there. Is I think the last couple of years have really put us all in this sort of perpetual state of anticipating the thing that they know is out there. You know, we've got things that have been sitting on pre-order for a year and a half, 2 years at this point, and
Yeah.
I personally just got tired of this feeling of always wanting the thing that's still on pre-order, you know, and that's just
Right.
always going to be there because the pre-orders just keep getting kicked out and kicked out and kicked out. And it's like, I want to be happy with like the stuff that I got in that is here on my shelf right now, and not constantly in this, oh, but I can't wait for that thing. I can't wait for that thing. I mean, it's exhausting.
It's like
Yeah.
extreme
Yeah.
edging, delayed gratification from that. It's like 100% is why we like seeing things. And shut up, Ryan.
I love it. Toy
Extreme
edging.
edging.
It's true though.
Toy edging. It's the show after Extreme. Well,
Stick around for extreme 20s.
today I
love
got
it.
a shipping notification for my Super 7 TMNT Scratch, and I'm literally considering selling some of my Super 7 TMNT figures. So it's like I ordered it 2 years ago, and it's like I could have canceled it. I forgot I ordered it. That's the other part of the problem.
Your problem with pre-orders is not usually is that you forgot you ordered it, but it's that you forgot you ordered 3.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've gotten way past, like, my toy collecting, I would say in the last 2 months has chilled out by necessity. It's too expensive. Never know.
Show that never.
By the way, I can't find the comment, but Batman 89 earlier said my wife calls this show
Chris and
Abby
Abby?
and Chris. So I don't know.
That's so
It's
great.
really
That's
funny.
like our radio morning show name.
Thought this is a good one. We'll just do some light Q&A here because we have Dan as a guest, and we let you have wisdom, and there's not a lot of that in the toy community. There's some of it.
Let me go get my fake glasses. Hang on.
Yes.
Get him, yeah.
Put on your glasses. Do you have a sweater? And Jake, you can speak to this too, and Ryan, if you've seen it. What are Dan's thoughts on the Super 7 Mecha Godzilla Jumbo? How do you say that word?
Machinda.
I was in until the $395 price tag. $100 is too much. Jake, we saw it in person, correct?
Yeah, we did.
All right.
You're not even sure. You're like,
I
is that
I
we
wanted
saw?
to make sure that's what
we did. We saw it in person.
and it's awesome. Is that a buy? Do we buy that? Should I buy it? Dan says
Not for me. No.
No? Okay.
It's cool. That is a very specific niche market, you know, of collectors, people who actually grew up with, you know, those Mattel Shogun Warriors and stuff. Like, that's a very, very specific market that Brian is definitely part of and definitely wants to appeal to. And just like, you know, Hasbro looking at the Ghost Rider HasLab and saying, we think we can move this many units, and that means we
Right.
got to price it here. He's looking at that and saying, I think I can move this many units, and that means I got to price it here.
Right.
Yeah, that figure is it's weird because it's a new figure in a 40-year-old toy line. You know, that is made to go with your Shogun Godzilla, which is a rare toy. It's expensive when you can find it. It breaks very easily. Not a ton of people have it in the best condition. But the toy looks awesome. Like, we saw it.
It's crazy because Mattel is doing the same thing with the Masters of the Universe ones.
Right.
Yeah.
There were some pictures this morning of some new ones. I think they're doing Faker and He-Man and all sorts of stuff. Cool. Yeah, great question. Thank you. Before we talk about some of the other New York Comic Con reveals, some Batman, some McFarlane stuff, because I am fascinated by what is happening with this resurgence of McFarlane. Makes me want to go to Suncoast Video, buy some Austin Powers figures. If I can only find a mall at a Suncoast
Oh
Video.
my god! Especially with the Blink-182 tour coming out, I
Yeah.
feel like yes, let's do it.
This was my late 90s, early 2000s day.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about buying I don't know. Whatever.
Media Play, Best Buy.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to Best Buy and buying
Mhm.
some CDs tonight. We'll see what happens. Does anybody have weekly pickups this week that they'd like to show off?
I got a couple.
I got a couple
Yeah.
things.
You got a couple
few
things? I don't. I have nothing to show except for a couple things that were given to me. Dan, I forgot to tell you that we do this. So if you have something
That's
you want to show off,
my big bad toy store pile of loot was supposed to be delivered today, but as of 10:16 Eastern Standard Time, it is still not here. So
Whoa.
Yep, same here.
Damn.
Actually, I was supposed to get a big. My pile of loot was also supposed to show up today.
that was just more Mythic Legions.
you know what is there an update? on the
Hey, I'm
Cosmic
glad
Legion?
you don't have those to show off because that's another one of those toy lines that I keep almost jumping into. They're awesome.
They're awesome.
I wasn't in until somebody sent me one. The line had been out for like
Gotta
maybe
do
2-3 years, and somebody was just like, it was literally like, this scare about like, don't check your kids' Halloween candy. There might be drugs in there. They're trying to get your kids hooked on drugs. That's what somebody did to me with my Mythic Legions. They like put it in my candy, and I was like, well, God, now I'm hooked.
Didn't check it.
The heroine of toys.
I mean, I can't. When this Headless Horseman comes in, I'm going to buy that Krampus too. Easier to dive in on a figure line when it's only 2 figures deep. Mythic Legions, you're done for.
Yeah.
There's no way to be a completionist. But I
Mhm.
do have the Cosmic Legions, that first set ordered. I don't know. I haven't heard any updates. Just get one. Just get one.
You can do it.
Abigail, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. I wish I could remember the name of the booth we stopped at, but at Toy Fair, I found no, not Toy Fair, New York City Comic Con, Gabbett Center. Still,
That is true. Same.
yeah,
place,
I
same
was
venue.
surprised to find
Same
like
place.
a really cool kaiju / like boutique Japanese Sofubi figure spot. And when I was like perusing, I saw this little 3-eyed. It's not even little. This is like a pretty big figure, actually. A 3-eyed cat. It's called Violent Cat, and it's designed by Shinichiro Kato, which is someone that I've followed on Instagram for like a long time, and
Craig,
would just
make her
wake up
big.
and
What did I say?
Make her big. I want to see it.
Oh, sorry.
yeah, it's just like the 3 eyes is the kind of the signature of this artist. And just the expression on the face here is incredible. The size, the back detail, the tail. It's like I obviously love cats. I love evil things. And this is like the cross section of those.
That's cool.
I'm
That
so
was a
glad I
cool
got to pick
booth.
it up.
That
Yeah,
was an
That's
awesome
awesome.
booth.
Oops. And it's stuff that that artist. It's really tough to find that stuff here. So I was super.
They were
excited.
actually
It was
Jay-
the only one of that piece that was for sale.
we were at that booth for a little while. They had they were from Tokyo. They were not like a local dealer. Like
Yeah, they don't have. We asked them, and they don't really have a social media.
Yeah, they were
presence.
legit. It was like a speakeasy situation. They're like,
Yes.
that's the only one, you got it. And I was like, sweet. And this figure I have not researched yet, so I'm not sure who designed this, but it is just
Oh, that
the,
comes. No,
the
that's
cutest.
that's the moat creature.
It does kind of resemble the most creature, which is what I was thinking.
Hold it back a little bit.
Yeah, how cute
you
though is this little dude?
We're having some
Literally.
focus issues.
Yeah, I know
Here,
they're
I can
having
turn
some
it off.
issues. Craig is gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then the last piece I picked up is this little cooked shrimp, which is from Tiny Shop. And I
That's
just
awesome.
yeah, it's necessary. I wanted to buy. There were 2 left, and I was like, I would like both shrimp, please. And they were like, no, those are the only 2 left. So
Wouldn't
it's
let you buy
one
2.
one shrimp per.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
one shrimper.
For
yeah.
customer,
Unlike
yeah.
Joe's Crab Shack, you get 33 shrimp for $10.99.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
right.
really
Keep that in mind.
I was pleased with my haul. I feel like I got more than like any one of us there. So
No, that's the good stuff.
yeah,
Very
That's
cool.
good.
congrats to me.
I like that.
Yeah,
shrimp.
New York Comic Con's a weird like. There were some good dealers. I mean, Tony Taylor was there. I got some stuff to show off from him.
Mhm.
But
Oh, I forgot that one.
you forgot it. Ryan, what are your pickups this week? Sir?
I went to a little store called Bobacon over the weekend,
Yes.
down over in Everett, just north of Seattle. Great place to pick up some vintage toys. And as everyone knows, we are going to talk Star Wars today. I don't care.
Oh.
I like to do world building, and the only way you could do world building now is to go back and get the ones you missed. So just to start building out my Disney Plus line of
That's
things.
not true. There's going to be a $200 indoor bunker waiting for you sometime in 2024.
And I
This is the
cannot,
golden age of Disney Plus.
I cannot wait. Speaking of the golden age of Disney Plus, Mon Mothra.
Mon Mothra.
Mm.
Mothra.
Yep.
Mon Mothra.
And
Mommy.
It does. The Darth Vader behind her in the packaging does kind of look like wings. So
It's
let's
the
go
wings,
with it.
yeah.
Let's
yep,
go with
that's
Mon
it. That's
Mothra.
who that is. That's
Okay,
Mon
neat.
Mothra. Because I am collecting senators, as everyone knows, I've been picking them up along the way because maybe I just ran out of things to collect. I don't know.
What a weird.
And
focus.
also, I have been buying senator wives. So I've been buying the wives of the senators as well.
Senator adjacent.
There you
Right.
go.
So this will go
Yeah.
on the Obi-Wan shelf as one does.
It's so
Uh,
weird to see Star Wars figures that are not just like random droids from video games, like
Hey,
actual
man,
characters from movies.
Do not make fun of the ever popular Gaming Greats line. That is
Okay, thank you.
that is my bag of chips. The I also got some more Cantina aliens. I am 10 more to go, and I've got all the Cantina aliens. I cannot pronounce this guy's name. He comes with a cup of red stuff. I love him. He's my favorite. I also can't believe I never owned this guy. I saw him. I had to get him, and I wondered, how did this guy never end up on my shelf? Jack Porkins, everybody.
Hey.
Oh, Porkins.
How did I not
Nice.
ever own him?
Hey Eckhart, think about the future.
I
Hey, I
needed
was-
him for my Batman '89 collection, and I needed him for my Star Wars collection.
Did it? I never knew that was the same guy until a couple years ago, and
Were they
it
dubbed over
literally-
his voice?
Well, it blew my mind. Like literally, I was like, "Wait, hold on," and I started. I was like, I guess they're right. The people who said, the internet's right. I should watch Batman '89 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You should.
It'd be a great thing to do.
But yeah, those were my pickups. Just nice, quick, and easy. The lady at the till was like, "What are these even real things from Star Wars?" Like she was so confused, and I was like, "Yeah, I get it." Jack
That's
Porkins and Brio Organa, probably not everyone's first choice when they go walking into that store.
No, but that's great. That's I think though, and maybe we can roundtable this as a discussion after we show off, is like the figures you just showed off. That is the argument against modern Star Wars collecting, which is look at all those characters they made. You could build out the world, build out the universe, and like it's impossible to do that when the Bad Batch comes out. And I'm not trying to be a Star Wars complainist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
Complainist?
complainist, but a complainist. But if you collect vintage collection or 3 3/4, and it's going to take 4 years or 5 years to put together.
See, and I totally get that, Craig.
Okay,
and this
sure.
just comes back to what Dan was saying earlier. I think I even said this last week. It's about appreciating what you have and what's in front of you. You could still enjoy Star Wars collecting. Maybe sometimes you have to shift your focus. Maybe sometimes you have to look at like, hey, maybe there was something I missed. And that's where you get that thrill of the hunt back that I think is like been now turned into like corporate FOMO. And now I can control that narrative again of what the thrill of the hunt is.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that's where I get excited is now it's like, okay, if I'm doing a Cantina shelf where I build the play set, I build the bar, and now I fill up the Cantina, that's exciting because now I know that there's 10 figures out there. They exist.
And then
I don't have to wait for them. Now I can actually go out and look for them and hunt for them. And that's so much fun.
and you can play out a scene at the cantina with like, whoa, the Bad Batch is here. Nope, just one of them.
Nope. And that's, you know what though? That's a whole other, I think the other problem is that Hasbro is so bottlenecked with content that they also can't keep up while still trying to make older collectors happy by still re-releasing all your old Lukes, your Chewies, your Obies, your Padmes, right? Like they're trying to make 4 different generations of Star Wars collectors happy, and they can't do it. So now I'm just taking a look at what I like, what I want, and what's available, and that's where my Eye of Sauron targets when it comes to Star Wars. And you know what? I've been having fun collecting Star Wars again
I love that.
because of it.
I'm
Ryan,
happy for you,
that's a
Ryan.
healthy way to
I like
go
that.
about it.
Yeah, you're bringing me
you
back.
win. Quick informal poll from SoCal. Whose death was better, Porkins or Russell Case from ID4? It's
Ooh.
clearly Russell Case.
Russell,
Oh yeah, Russell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It has a fun like catchphrase, and you could make an argument that was some sort of peak moment in Randy Quaid's career.
Do you think if they got the rights from WWF, he would have been like, "I got 2 words for you, suck it"?
Hey, if it came out a year later, that's what it would have been. Since we're talking about it, and Jake, we'll get to your pickups. Dan,
Sure.
are you, besides Boba Fett, do you buy any modern Star Wars stuff?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. What I just get from Star Wars? Oh, I just got Cobb Vanth, Black Series.
It's a great figure. It's awesome.
I've got probably 3 Mandalorians at this point. Basically anybody that's wearing Mandalorian armor. So Death Watch,
Yep.
Bo-Katan, Casca, all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. If there's a T visor, I get
Yeah,
it.
basically. And really that goes for all. I got the Jeddah Stormtrooper. It's more the like face characters that I've just lost interest in. I don't
Right.
really, it's like I've got so many Lukes, I've got so many Hans, I've got so many Leias. I didn't even get the Return of the Jedi figures.
Gotcha.
I'm just tired of them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
I hear you. Oh,
Mean,
somebody asked if we had a light goal tonight. We don't have a giveaway, but I will say this. There's a lot of people watching. If we can let's hit 200 likes tonight. And we'll plan something really fun for next week or the week after. We'll figure out something over the top ridiculous fun. Let's hit 200 likes tonight. Come on, we got a special guest. Gonna eat dinner later. It's gonna be fantastic. We got
I'm gonna order
groceries today. We got a pizza.
Wow.
Yeah, the
Possibilities
chat's
are
excited about that.
I saw
Ryan,
that. I saw that. Droids Boba Fett today, and it took a ride in my cart for a little bit, even though I don't have any of those.
Wait a minute. Which one?
It was the
Black Series one?
the Black Series one.
I pre-ordered that so long ago. I think Target's going to ship it to me at some point.
Hopefully,
They're just
We'll
gonna put
see.
a label on it, right on the package. Show
They
up
might.
at your door.
No, they're going to go to the next step. They're going to take the figure out, put the label right on the figure, and then put the figure back in the box.
put it back in the box.
Label swaps.
Jake, do you have
Sure.
some pickups, sir?
Yeah, I got a couple. First one came from a listener, Matt Bush, who I guess heard me complaining about Matty Collector at some point, which I've done plenty of times in my life. But he sent me the Matty Collector subscriber gift that they never sent me. So fuck you, Matty Collector, and thank you, Matt Bush.
That's amazing. Wait,
Finally got my Slimer.
did you get the letter too? Did I give you the letter?
No,
He wrote a funny letter where he called you
I
a
don't-
misanthrope. It was hilarious. So, Jake, does that complete your Matty Collector Ghostbusters collection?
This is it. Other than a couple of the props that I foolishly sold in my younger collecting days, I got everything.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's awesome.
Very cool.
Feels
Well,
good.
thank you, Matt Bush.
Yeah, thank you.
And then Ryan, you've got stuff coming from Matt. I checked the tracking, so you should be getting it this week. It's
Yeah,
all good.
that's exciting.
It is
I guess-
exciting.
I'll show it off next week.
Jake, what else, man?
Yeah, so Super 7, I wanted to get some stuff at the Super 7 booth at New York Comic Con, and they had a bunch of like exclusive Godzilla reaction figures, and I don't have the regular reactions, but I bought the exclusives at Comic Con, the glow in the darks. They put out 2 more glow in the darks plus a Godzilla with the oxygen destroyer. So I got in line, checked my little boxes, and they were sold out of all of the Godzilla stuff. So I didn't get those, but I did get the My Pet Monster because
Nice.
I got the other ones, and
Hell yeah.
I love these guys. They're cute. I love the colors. So I was able to get this from Super 7.
Super 7 booth was great. They have a
It
great
always
spot.
is. They have a good presentation. I've seen a lot of people were like, "Yeah, Super 7's great." Let me complain about them for a second.
Sure. What we do.
I've seen. I'm guessing that the Godzilla Ultimates that we've seen in person are just. I'm guessing they're just the prototypes. Maybe the paint's going to be different, but a lot of people are hounding on the Destroya figure. You know, they unveiled the new wave of Godzilla Ultimates like last week, and it's Destroya and then like Meltdown Godzilla. They had those, and the Destroya that they had on display looks so different. It looked like the paint is so different, and it's a very big noticeable, like, oh, I don't want this. I want the picture. I want the picture, but it's probably a prototype. I'm wondering. We haven't gotten the first wave of those in hand yet. I did order those, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, did you all see the Silverhawks stuff going around? People are not
Oh yeah.
happy
Yeah, I saw
with
it in person. Mhm.
the way the faces are turning out. And like, listen, I genuinely love Super 7. I think most of the product I've ever bought has been phenomenal. My turtle stuff is great. Any ultimates I've picked up, reaction, the G.I. Joe reaction figures, the quality is like insane. Like I had a bunch of them, got rid of them, but they were great. I think this kind of goes back to what Dan was saying earlier. Like when you're putting up a lot of money for these pre-orders and they take a long time, and then if you get one or two things that don't turn out like what you thought, you might be hesitant to put $60 or $70 down. It's just the name of the game.
Well, it's hard when you're doing that with the Godzilla reaction figures. They're expensive,
right?
You know what I mean? They're not $60. They're like
right.
80 and 90 if you want.
Oh, the ultimates, yeah,
the ultimates, yeah. It's I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know, Dan. Anything to say about anything that we just said?
I flinched on the Silverhawks. I was in on the Silverhawks from the beginning. I'd ordered both waves, so that's 8 figures. $800, I think, is what that comes out to. Right?
Okay.
Doing the math right. 55 times 8, somewhere in that range. I'm willing to give all the benefit of the doubt for the way the last couple of years have been, and logistics and shipping and all of that stuff, and problems with factories. If you followed any action figure Kickstarter, you have seen some of the problems that these places have to deal with. Even a factory, even a company like Super 7, who has worked with these factories before, they've talked about issues that they've had. So I'm willing to forgive all that and play along, because I know that the end product will be there. But the every time something came out about the Silverhawks, it just wasn't good.
Right.
And I got real tired of hearing two things. One, this paint doesn't photograph well. And it's like, well, that's what I'm basing my purchasing on.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I'm
Figure
holding
that out. It's simple.
holding
Figure it
a
out.
Marvel Legends Silver Surfer that looks pretty good. It looks pretty shiny to me. And I'm like, that's all I'm asking for. And it's like, Brian, I get that you have the Silverhawks license and you're trying to make this big splash, with this first wave of Silverhawks figures after 40 years or 35 years or however long it's been. And I get that. But I really think that was a misjudgment to go that far with this color changing paint and stuff that can't be photographed. It's like,
yeah.
So the other thing he kept saying that was killing me was that both waves were going to ship basically within 30 days of each other. And so if you had ordered with a mindset of like, oh, these are going to be like 3 months apart, 6 months apart. Now he's saying like, they're going to hit right on top of each other. So you're going to get hit for $800 worth of this stuff.
Oof.
And I was like, I got to bail, because 2 waves of G.I. Joe are also right behind that. And I'm really looking forward to their worst ultimates.
Yeah, those are cool.
So
Yeah.
you've put me in the position to have to start making some cuts. And Silverhawks weren't high on my list to begin with. I was like, well, I got to cancel those. I got to cancel some other stuff. Mezco 112, looking at you. Say goodbye to your G.I. Joes. I'm not in on those anymore.
Right.
Right.
It's like we've all like worked ourselves into like we all kind of roll our eyes about NFTs, but that's half of what we're doing is like we're collecting pre-orders and then getting rid of them before they ship. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
I think Super 7 has some issues with human-esque faces. I think any like the Simpsons stuff looks so great. The Disney stuff looks amazing. But when they do, like, if you look at some of the wrestling figures or anything that's based on, and I know Silverhawks is a cartoon, like it's not based on. Remember the Silverhawks? They were part of the. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Yeah,
part of NWO at one point.
Yeah, they don't look great, but that's okay because a lot of what Super 7 looks great, and you can't like. We love NECA. By the way, shout out. We got to do a shout out here. We partied hard with the entire NECA team at the Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed video game party on Friday night, New York Comic Con. You're going to hear all about it on the main YHS podcast this week. We walked in, Trevor and the whole NECA team was there. Not Randy. Randy's like, I don't care about this. But basically almost everybody else was there. And they're great. They're fun dudes who love toys and love to party. And it was awesome. We had
Yeah,
a great
shout
time.
out to Trevor and the boy.
Shout out to
whole
the boy.
crew, yeah.
Love the boy. But yeah, I think NECA's a little bit more consistent than Super 7 as far as their output, as far as paint application and things and sculpt. I know people have quality control issues with NECA from time to time. So have I. I've had turtles with broken feet and things like that. But it happens, right? At the end of the day, these are all heavy plastic things that get sent from overseas. So sometimes
I'm keeping the #1 spot, top 10 figures of 2022, open for Warduke, for NECA's Warduke. If that thing ships in time, he's got the #1 spot.
Well, we'll have to consult you for
Yeah,
our
for the
third annual Jeffrey
Jeffries.
Awards,
Yeah.
which we'll need some. We're gonna have to put it to a VIP vote this year. No more user voting.
No, we'll do it. It's called
No
a
more
community.
Ghostbusters winning
It's
everything.
a community outreach vote.
Yes,
There you go.
community outreach vote.
Mhm.
But there's been some great figures this year. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And then we're gonna have a new category for figures that were revealed and never released. Like Mephisto is gonna win like best figure of the year that won't be coming out. Sorry, guys.
We didn't get him. We didn't get him in WandaVision. We
No.
didn't get him in the HasLab.
No. Oh man, if we don't see Henry Cavill and Mephisto at the end of Black Adam, I don't know what we're gonna do. Jake, do you have any more pickups?
Yeah, I got two more. We'll do them quick. We did while we were in New York. We went to Toy Tokyo,
Yes.
which usually I always get kind of depressed because I don't ever end up buying anything at Toy Tokyo. I just look at everything and just get upset with myself and I storm out.
I've seen it. I've seen it
But
happen.
this time, I bought the Ghost Twins, Safubi versions of the Shining Twins, made by Awesome Toy. I have been looking at these for a while, and they do all different colorways, much like other Safubi. They put out the same sculpt over and over, but painted differently or different clear versions or whatever. And they had like 4 different ones, and I said, "Hey,
Make him big.
I'm buying these.
Yeah.
I'm buying these translucent pink ghost girls. I love these. As a big fan of Safubi and of Stephen King, very happy to.
They're perfect for you.
They're
Jake.
cool.
Yeah,
Happy-
don't you need
happy to
those
get
to
the
go with
ghost
your
girls.
translucent collection?
Yeah, I needed it. I needed it.
Wait,
it was
who
a
is it?
hard choice.
I want to have a translucent pink collection.
Do
Sounds
it.
fun.
Do
Jake,
it.
you're starting yours. Good for you.
Yeah.
Very awesome. I don't have any pickups, but we were given a couple cool things. So our buddy Tony Taylor, everybody here knows who Tony Taylor is. Check out Tony Taylor Toys. Check out Phantasm Toys. Him and Beducci are doing incredible work, and I finally got my hands on. And I don't know if these are still available. I think he's in the chat. This is going to go right on my Matty Collector shelf. The Library Ghost from let me
Make
do
yourself
this.
big.
Yeah. I know the rules here. I know the rules. The Library Ghost, kind of a almost translucent purple, really incredible
It's not a
sculpt.
competition on translucency.
Mine also is a little translucent.
No,
Not
I
as
think I win.
translucent as Jake's,
Take
but
a little
still
bit more than yours.
pretty good. I was just gonna say that. So thank you to Tony for the gift. And check out HasLab Toys over there in Canton, Ohio. Go say hi to Tony Taylor. Tell him YHS sent you.
Tony.
You'll
Knock on
get
his door,
10%
buy him-
off. Sorry, I
buy
just
him
made up that
dinner.
last part. But tell him we sent you. Thank you very much. And yeah, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's great. Okay, cool. So I don't have any more pickups. I did want to talk about some of this McFarlane stuff. Let me check where we are here. So we're at 122 likes. So let's get to 200. We'll go for a few more minutes. Jake, do you have sad comments for a little bit later?
I think I do. Yeah.
Cool.
I got a few.
Cool. Let's talk about McFarlane. So McFarlane kind of had a pretty big showing at New York Comic Con, and I wanted to highlight some of the things. I was on the airplane, and I don't like flying, so I'm always looking for a good distraction. So some of these reveals from McFarlane were were fun. So let's start with superpowers. And Dan, you brought your Superman, correct, for this part of the conversation? Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's and Ryan, I'll kind of let you lead the way on some of the commentary here on how you're
There's
feeling
a
about
full
this
commentary on my other show, Gotham City Tonight, where I broke down everything
book. Nice.
that he announced. But we can go through it here too. I'll do
Okay.
Cole's notes version of this.
No. We want the full-fledged. I want a complete historical Wikipedia background of each character.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
No.
First one is Dick Grayson.
Thank you.
It was
Thank you very
Nightwing.
much.
Yeah.
So we got our next 3 reveals from superpowers. So we've got Nightwing, Deathstroke, and Wonder Woman. Ryan, give me your thoughts on this character selection for this line.
Great. All 3 characters are on my list of ones I would love in the Superpowers collection. Always down for a Wonder Woman update. I will be getting a new cape for that Wonder Woman because I don't like the new McFarlane Superpowers capes. I'm not a big fan of that. I know that Dan is also a big fan of superpower style capes as well. But these aren't these new ones aren't cutting it for me. I like that Nightwing. Looks like they angled him in such a way that it looked like they gave him his butt. So he might actually have that classic Dick Grayson Nightwing butt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited about that. And I think Deathstroke also looks great. He's also a much needed figure for the line. Always surprised he never made it into the original series of superpowers. And I'm also hoping at some point they make a sword and shield that will also go with that Wonder Woman because it looks like she's supposed to. However, I think this is great. I'm all in on the superpowers line. I'm all in on it. So, I definitely want these 3. I love these figures.
Dan, does this stuff interest you?
It's not a line I'm collecting right now. No, I have the figures from the vintage line that I like, and that's about it. I wasn't a huge fan of this format back in the day. I was more of a Secret Wars guy, Marvel versus DC.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was a very short line. DC went much further with superpowers.
I like the secret. That line's cool. I see it from time to time. Let's take a look at the other superpowers reveal, which was in the realm of vehicles. And Ryan, so we've got I'm getting it out right now, but we've got the kind of renders of a Batmobile as well as Invisible Jet. Now, obviously, the original Superpowers Batmobile was one of the most popular vehicles of all action figures in the 80s. I haven't done any kind of comparison. How does this look compared to the original? Is it pretty similar?
No, they're very different.
Thank you. I didn't do my research. Now that I'm looking at it, that this looks more like the Batman Forever Batmobile.
The Superpowers one looks more like the 66
the classic
TV
one,
series
yeah.
Batmobile.
Yeah, this one looks a little more modern, but I'm hoping it has the Superpowers blue and orange tinted windows. I hope it has I hope there's action features. I hope the back opens so that you can put your groceries in there, like you can with the Supermobile, the
Right.
current one, because you can't put a figure in that one. But anyways, besides the point, I'm excited for both of these. If we love translucent toys here on Toy Anxiety, as everybody knows today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure
Kinda
this
what
is
we're
going
known
to be
for.
our translucent
Number
vehicle.
one translucent toy.
Yeah, our translucent vehicle. Again, it looks like they put her logo on the front. So I guarantee you're going to push that logo and that canopy is going to pop open. Again, another vehicle that's been long overdue to get a toy. I think this might be the first one that isn't meant for toddlers. So again, this is both are a must buy for me. Got to get them.
Yeah, and I think there's some price points these are going to be like the Supermobile and the Batwing were $20 and $30. So definitely affordable. This is a really fun line. It's peg warming really hard here now. Like once they hit, like very easy to find now. So I really hope that this is doing well. It's kind of hard. I don't get into the game of anecdotal evidence to support my claims on the toy show. We'll leave the rest of toy YouTube to do that. But my anecdotal claim is that it's very available. So, but hopefully it's doing well because this stuff's really cool. before we get into some of the other McFarlane reveals, I don't have the image with me, but something came out about the Batman 89 Batwing. And we know that there's some leaked information about a Batman 89 Batmobile as well.
I got prices for it too.
Okay, thank you.
1 second. I didn't know you were going to bring this up. I thought you were just going to direct them to Gotham City Tonight for any and all information on all of these toys. But
Well,
I guess if you want to talk about them here, we can. It's fine.
Thank you.
The Batwing will be $129.99, and it is apparently and it's to fit the 7-inch scale figures. So depending on how to scale that thing plans to be, you got to remember the DC Direct animated series Batmobile was massive. So I expect this to be close to around the same size, maybe. Probably not as deep or as like, because that DC Direct stuff is like super sturdy and very good quality. Not to say that this stuff isn't, but I'm just saying I don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's going to be that necessarily that big, but I expect to save some wall space for that.
Yeah, I mean, and what I like about it is there's never been a proper like modern Batman 89 style line. Like we've gotten Batman 89 figures, like NEC has done stuff, but there's never been a full line. And like I'll just to kind of talk about what it sounds like McFarlane has the rights to do older Batman movies, as seen for instance right here, because this was announced, the 7-inch Nolan Wave, which I find to be really cool. Everybody knows that I love these movies, maybe more than some of the other people on the pod, but I'm a big fan. And I think for the most part, the McFarlane 7-inch stuff is really cool. So we have I think it's going to be a Build-A-Bane from what I was reading. So it's a Build-A-Bane.
A lot of them are Build-A-Banes.
Time to build your brain.
This will be your third Build-A-Bane from McFarlane.
Always Build-A-Bane.
Love Bane.
Always Build-A-Bane.
So we've got Joker, Two-Face, Scarecrow, Batman, and Bane. Ryan, any thoughts on this?
You know what? I'll get 4 out of 5 of those, but I think if I get 4, I'm going to end up with 5. So the one that
because you're going to have a Bane without a head.
Hold on, you're not getting the Joker?
No, I want Joker and Two-Face, and I want Scarecrow. I'll get that Batman too. I think these are pretty cool.
Dude, give me your Bane. I'll take them.
Right. If it's a build,
my Bane, I'll donate my Bane to Abby.
If it's a Build-A-Bane,
send all your Banes to me.
Time out. If it's a Build-A-Bane and you buy those 4, you're gonna have Bane. That's gonna happen unless you just throw them out. Unless you don't want Bane.
Yeah.
Jake, do you have any thoughts on this stuff?
No, not really. This is not really the stuff that I collect. Batman. I mean, I think it's cool if they're going to do it, especially if they're going to do all the movies. I think that's awesome. If they go back and do some of the older stuff. Somebody asked it in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and say I doubt it, but Jack Nicholson likeness, that's not a figure we've ever really gotten. That'd be cool.
There's a thing with that though, Jake.
Okay.
So if they make his Joker figure, Keaton Autumn, he's already signed a contract for life. He gets money off that.
Let's do it then. I'll make the deal.
Let's do it. Let's make a whole line.
I'd like to see that.
Figures.
I'd like to see it.
I'd
like
love
to see
that,
any Jack Nicholson 6-inch.
Yeah,
figure.
I want him courtside at an LA Lakers game.
That's what I want. That's what we
Jack
want.
Nicholson.
Yes.
I want that as part of starting lineup.
It's a LeBron James figure.
I want a
There's
LeBron
a little
James
Jack Nicholson
figure.
on the side.
I want a Bill Murray. I want all the
the
celebrities that sit at the side of the court.
Ryan, is this the leaked picture of the Batwing?
I don't know if that looks like the actual Batwing. That looks like the actual model.
I'm just like showing off the actual.
Yeah, I don't know because they never said it was. If it again, we don't know anything about it because remember we found that leaked list of the '89 Batmobile from McFarlane as well for the 7-inch figures.
There you go.
We haven't seen any photos. We don't know if it lights up. I know I just get excited and I just tell people it's gonna light up.
Right. I take everything you say as fact. Dan, compared to some of the bigger companies, Hasbro, Mattel, one thing that's interesting about McFarlane is their output. They're fully stocked on the shelves. The price points are great. For the most part, the figures are great. How are they doing it? Do you have insight for us?
It's witchcraft is the only thing I know of. I have no idea how he's pulling off. I believe he has his own factory, or at least a factory that works exclusively with him. So I don't think he competes with any of the other businesses. I'm sure Hasbro has their own exclusive factories as well.
Right.
But anything that we put out there, like Hasbro's doing this wrong, Mattel's doing this wrong, everybody's doing this wrong. McFarlane's just like, $20 figures, like vehicles, play sets, crazy capes, whatever. It's just, I don't know how he bucks all the industry expectations and the problems that are tripping up everybody else. He just new stuff is out on the shelves before it even gets announced. The pegs are fully stocked. Like,
it's just the opposite.
I don't know
of
how he's
everything
making
else.
money, but he seems like he's making a lot of it.
I actually think I have the. I think I know the answer. To
You
this.
figured it out. Okay, this is big.
Spawn
Awesome.
is satanic from hell, and therefore he's using those powers that he gets from the Spawn money to get everything he needs, which is why Hasbro's trying to tap into that with
Right.
Mephisto, but they can't seem to get it just right.
Can't figure it out.
And so McFarlane's just scooping in all that satanic panic love. And
What's the deal with the devil?
Let's
Uh,
be realistic. He doesn't know how he's doing it either.
Yeah, he doesn't know. either. He's like, well, I think the key is people want monster trucks more than anything, and they want him as Batman. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, the figures are awesome, and like he's even convinced people to give him financing for a new Spawn movie. They were going to let him direct it, but it sounds like he's now not going to do that. But good on Todd. I know that he's a unique guy. I would if we ever talk to him, I'm going to ask him, how do you do it? That's what we want to do.
Yeah. The
I have
Todd
2
Father
Warhammer
knows.
figures, and I don't care about Warhammer at all.
Oh,
Well, that's the key. If that's how we were talking about Fortnite a couple weeks ago. We all wanted that
Yeah.
banana. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about Fortnite, but I'm getting that damn banana. That's happening.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and
This is how he does it.
Joker
The
Dragons.
Joker Dragon, yes.
Joker Dragons. Yeah, it's McFarlane. It is a private company. It's similar to Super 7 or NECA, but just a bigger footprint, and also like McFarlane Toys has been around for a very long time. They're even bringing Movie Maniacs back. The lineup's weird, but they're bringing. Did you see this, Ryan?
no, I didn't see that. No, this
I gotta
totally
hold
got
on.
Okay, well, hold on. Ryan, you guess the first new wave of Movie Maniacs, and we'll tell you if you get any of them
Four.
right.
Zero
There's
chance.
4 of them.
Okay, so
If you were
Movie
doing it,
Maniacs,
your
because
dream
I'm trying to
Movie
think,
Maniacs.
like, I'm sure he can't do a lot of them because NECA's got them.
Right. That's a good point.
Hey,
All right,
that might-
so-
yeah.
Leprechaun. I
Okay.
haven't seen any Leprechaun anything. What's that latest doll? Maybe he's got
Annabelle?
Annabelle.
Annabelle, and he's got Matt Berry from What We Do in the Shadows.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. I love Matt Berry.
They were McFarlane or NECA needs to pick that license up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very funny.
It's not
Very,
Miller Times.
very funny.
Oh boy.
Did you see that video that came out
Of Ezra?
with Ezra Miller going, "I am criminally excited to be part of the Justice League"?
Oh
Well,
boy.
he said it. They said
He
it. They
said
said
it.
it. They
He
said it. They said it.
warned us.
Okay, let's so those are some good guesses. So Annabelle, Leprechaun,
Matt Berry.
Matt Berry.
Which clearly it isn't because you guys gave that away by saying no, but they should make that.
Well,
So-
here you go. Here's your first wave.
Okay.
Okay, wait. I saw these, but I didn't realize this was under Movie Maniacs. Oh dear. This is
So-
okay. First off,
Movie Maniacs, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The Wicked Witch of the West is actually a great choice. For
Hey,
Movie Maniacs.
I want all McFarlane Wizard of Oz. I'll be down that Yellow Brick Road straight to the Walmart checkout line.
I will buy that Wicked Witch.
So we've got
100%.
for our audio listeners, Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz,
Mhm.
Bugs Bunny as Superman,
Mhm.
They better make LeBron James as Robin to go.
Harry Potter from like Diamond Select 5 years ago or something,
Mhm.
and Ted Lasso. Not even a movie. It's
It feels like a discount theme park. Like,
He's
lineup.
in a movie Maniacs line.
This is such a weird wave.
Yeah.
This is like Warner Brothers Legends is what this is.
Yeah, that's what this is.
So
Okay.
why aren't they well, I guess they probably can't
This
do
is
Gremlins
awesome.
because NECA's got Gremlins.
Right. But I'm thinking, what other Warner Brothers
Rick and Morty.
strongholds?
Rick and Morty will go in there.
Okay.
The Scooby-Doo gang, I guess.
Right.
I honestly don't. I'm trying to think of what's Clockwork Orange.
Sure.
That's Warner Brothers.
Sure. Fantastic Beasts. Oh, they're doing Harry Potter.
They're doing
God.
Harry. Oh yeah, let's get Ezra Miller from Fantastic Beasts.
Troy with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Troy.
Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 11. There's so many options here. Anyway, so very fun. Anybody want to chime in, or should we move on to the last two McFarlane things, and we'll get to sad comments?
Yeah, let's go. Let's just go right to the next one. I don't know.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
weird. We like it.
What is that Bugs Bunny Superman even from? Was that a comic or something?
I don't know if there's officially a Looney Tunes cartoon out there, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
All right. Batman 66 is one of my favorite things happening in toys right now. I wish these came with accessories, but I really like these figures. So a couple new reveals. We'll just go over them real quick. We've got Riddler and Robin, both in black and white. I'm not buying the black and white ones because to me, kind of defeats the purpose of Batman 66, which is really colorful. With Alfred as Batman.
It's for those people that didn't have a color TV.
Right. It's like, this is how
those...
I remembered it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Alfred as Robin.
Alfred is Batman, but that's already showing up in stores, by the way.
Well, it was part of the Target fall collector, whatever. It was on pre-order.
Okay.
So yeah, and then we've got Egghead, which when they first started doing this line, I was like, if they can go deep with the Rogues Gallery, it would be
Hold
amazing.
up. Does this mean they can make an actual Vincent Price for part of their movie
That would be
Maniacs line?
amazing.
Yeah, I'd love that.
No. For movie Maniacs is more reserved for things like, Apple TV shows like The Morning Show and Ted Lasso.
We'll get Community movie Maniacs.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
It'll be like a movie Maniacs, Forrest Gump, things like that. Okay, so and then one more from Batman 66, and that'll wrap up our coverage on that stuff. Oh crap! I pressed the wrong button. Sorry, guys. It is there it is. Radioactive
Yes.
Batman, King Tut, and Two-Face.
Wow.
Now,
Love.
Ryan, was this Two-Face rumored, or was this just one of your wish lists?
I think it was a wish list. I'm
Because
pretty sure it
Two-Face
was.
is not in the show.
He's not in the show. But they brought when DC Comics did a line of comics of Batman 66, they introduced characters that were never in the show. So we got like 66 Harley, 66 Poison Ivy, 66 Two-Face, 66 Bane.
There you
The
go.
66 Bane is amazing because they just made him a straight up luchador,
That's
which
awesome.
is great. But yeah, that's Two-Face. Yeah,
This
it looks
line's
great.
really cool, and anytime I see these at Target, $20, I buy them. I got the Batman, I was called the Batman house, the Batcave playset,
Batman's Dream House.
the Batman house, the Batman car, all the stuff. It's really, really cool stuff. So good showing from McFarlane at New York Comic Con. Let's go to the chat before we move on to sad comments and say goodbyes and things like that. Thunderhouse Design says William Shatner Two-Face was supposed to be in the show.
Oh,
I'll take that as fact. Not even gonna fact check it. Sounds good. Let's see here. Sir Davey, I can't wait for Golden Girls and Movie Maniacs. Yes. And lots of good stuff. Thank you guys for having fun tonight. And Dan, thank you so much for hanging out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Definitely.
We do have some guests who'd never come back, so we hope that's not yours. We're like, yeah, I had a great time. No, Pixel Dan hasn't been back since he was, selling that book. You gotta get Pixel Dan back. Okay, Before we get to sad comments, Abby, do you want to plug Facebook group therapy?
Absolutely. If you like who you're hanging out with in the chat right now, you can hang out with all of us on Facebook. Our group is called Yes Have Some Podcast Group Therapy. You can search for it on Facebook. And it's closed because we like to keep the content quality. So go ahead and ask to join, and myself or someone here, just not Dan, will accept you.
Dan, do you want to be an admin
You
on
can
our
be an
Facebook
admin if
group?
you want.
That's why you're here.
I'm
actually.
looking for a good admin. But yeah, it's just an awesome place to post what you're collecting and what you're reading, what you're buying, what you're looking for. Your thoughts on toy collecting in general. And it's a great place to make friends. It's a wonderful community. So please sign up.
And I've got a plug as well. We just launched a brand new YHS YouTube channel that is going to be housing exclusively Yes Have Some podcast content and vlogs. I am linking it in the chat. We just posted our video from the Ghostbusters event at New York Comic Con. Go give it a subscribe. Go subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate subscription. That's what those are called. We're going to have a lot. We're going to be relaunching some video content, working on some cool guests and stuff for the podcast. So we appreciate you guys going over there and hitting that old subscribe button.
Thank you.
Dan, I want you to plug your stuff, but do you have any other final thoughts on any of the topics we covered this evening?
Not really. No, I think we've pretty much said everything I had to say about that stuff. It's all in the past now. Let it go. And if you're looking for me, just Toy Galaxy anywhere. Or we're actually sort of changing the name of the main channel over to Secret Galaxy.
Yes.
So in the future, Secret Galaxy.
Very cool. And yes, like we said earlier, Dan's content is second to none and just well researched and well executed. The production
It
value
feels like
is-
I'm watching TV. It doesn't feel like I'm
Mhm.
watching YouTube. I feel like
That's
I'm
the key.
watching
Mhm.
syndicated television. Also, Dan, I do want to give you props on two of my favorite things you do, which is History of, because they are just informative and easy to watch. And again, really entertaining. The more fart jokes, the better, please.
Thank you.
And the other thing I really love is Oddities, because it triggers memories of toys I have completely forgotten. And sometimes I just see the title and I can already see the commercial in my head, or I can remember seeing them on store shelves, but just kind of like they're just vague. And then you just dive right in. Oozers is one that definitely sticks to mind.
So don't hold your breath on Oddities because that's discontinued.
Okay. All right. So
Right.
hold my breath. But you can go back and watch them, correct?
Well, so what we did was, I mean, they're still there.
Yeah,
what we
they're
did
still
was
there.
We had lots of different sort of shows on the channel, and what we found was that some performed better than others. So Oddities basically just got stretched into longer history ofs. We've done several history ofs that would have previously been Oddities, but now they're just under that history of banner.
Right. Either
for
way,
anybody that's
if they're still on your channel, or if they end up on your Patreon.
No, they're still all
Oh.
on the channel. We're not going to take those down.
Yeah,
For,
so
for
go- if
chat
you haven't
that's
watched
asking, this week is Monster Cereals, History of Monster Cereals.
Yep.
Next week is Godzilla 1985.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh. Jake
But
and I
yeah,
will be
if
there.
you
I'm with
haven't
you on
seen
that
any
one.
Oddities, go to his channel, go find the playlist, start watching them.
Ryan,
Hey,
he
get those
said
numbers
it's
up.
over,
Bring it.
man.
Bring back Oddities. I'm gonna do a whole Snyderverse thing where it's like Oddities. I'm gonna be the
They're
most
back,
wide
but they're in
open
black and white.
Consecutive, black and white, no stopping.
Yes,
and
yes,
slow
yes.
motion. They're gonna be in slow motion. I'm gonna make sure Oddities wins the fan award at the Oscars
Thank you.
this year as well. I'm gonna.
Maybe a
Hey,
Jeffrey.
if you can juice those views on those videos enough, we'll bring them back as a main show.
There it is, guys.
There you
So
go.
everyone who's watching,
We
this
have
is
the
doing-
power.
That's right. When you tomorrow night, that's your plan. You're gonna watch all the Oddities. They're so good.
It's gonna be good. I would take work off tomorrow, no matter what you do. Even if you'll get in trouble, just do it anyway.
Yeah, do it.
Um,
Fun.
Last
Yeah.
work fucking sucks. This is way more fun. Last little plug ski. We do have a YHS Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to vast majority of the content we do. Audio bonus content, our weekly Toy Anxiety after show called Extreme Toy Anxiety, which it's a lot like this, but just barbed wire,
But off the
chainsaws,
rails,
a
and
little
usually,
off the rails.
and a lot of times, not about toys.
A lot of times just us talking about God knows what.
After hours stuff.
And if you guys want, I'm going to put that link in. So subscribe to the new channel. We're working on some pretty cool stuff. We're working on a couple cool interviews, and
Yeah.
we love it. We absolutely love it. Okay, we're going to do sad comments now, and then we'll get the heck out of here. If you're not familiar with sad comments, we scour the internet, the toy Facebooks and Instagrams for the latest commentary, and we give a voice to the voiceless.
I
So
brought two, by the way.
Dan has brought sad comments.
Nice.
This is awesome.
First guest to bring sad comments.
I think you
Love
are. Yeah,
it.
you're the first guest. Pixel Dan did.
Yeah.
No,
The most prepared, Dan Larson. Thank you.
thank you.
Well, he'll get credit for mine because both of my comments are from one of his videos. So.
Full circle. I love that. Well, you know
Love
what?
it.
And I was joking before the show about the influencer invite to Mattel. Here's the deal. Those guys, Toy Shiz and Pixel Dan and all the people that went, these are hard-working people who deserve the opportunity to get those exclusives and those reveals. And if Mattel gives them free product, they deserve it. I don't want to get into this conversation, but people who hang out in comment boxes and chats who talk about the shills, how we're all paid off. Do you know how much money I lose on this damn shit? My
I'm
accountant
flying
would
to
be
New York in 2 weeks. That'll help.
yeah.
Do you think Pixel Dan actually wants to have 3 Snake Mountains in his toy room?
He doesn't. Nobody does. He had a kid last year, and his kid has to live in a snake mountain. There's no way to live. I don't know if he had a kid last year. It sounds like something.
Sounds like something
People do
Dan
that.
would do.
We don't fact check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't fact check. That's the clickbait. Pixel Dan's children live in Snake Mountain. Okay. It's kind of funny. Let me find the sad comment video. Jake, do you want to start us off?
Yeah,
Wanna
I'll
go to
start
Dan
first.
and then-
I feel like the last couple of weeks we've kind of went hard on the sad comments with Hasbro, and
Right.
I decided to do all NECA sad comments this week, and
Okay.
it's nothing against NECA or it's nothing against Hasbro when we do. I know it seems like those are the only two companies we do sad comments from, but it's because those are the only two companies that have a really good social media presence and who are
Right.
constantly posting stuff. And I go to Super 7 or Playmates or Mattel to try to find sad comments, and I'm seeing posts with 6 comments,
Right,
7
right.
comments. You got a NECA, and you got 600 people complaining about something, and that means you're doing something right, I think.
Right.
So,
Yeah, there. I like this.
and because we had such a good time with all the NECA guys this week, all NECA
This
sad
one goes to them?
comments.
Goes to
Yes.
We dedicate these sad comments to the boys.
By the
at
way,
NECA.
if you look at the screen, it looks like Ryan has been edited out by there it is. Yeah, NECA sad. Well, Playmates they're gonna put out Turtles versus Sad Comments 2-packs. That's the
Hey,
only
I
sad
s-
oh
comment
my
on it.
god,
Hey,
I wish.
I saw those Turtle Stranger Things 2-packs today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they cool?
they're still dumb, but like the Stranger Things toys look good at least.
Cool. All right, sad comments. First one from NECA. Which post is this, Jake?
Oh, we're going full auto T here.
We didn't even cover.
We didn't even talk about the auto. Wait, is it because we don't know what it is?
because
Still,
no one
probably.
understands it. All we know is that there's a digital component. There's some Mirage black and white figures. Maybe it's an NFT.
The toys themselves might be a mirage.
The toy hunter was the spokesperson, Jordan Hembrow. All right. Auto T. Here we go.
Auto T.
Sad comments. First one, Jacob Walsh. Auto T.
Auto T is not a good idea. Loot Crate is not a good idea. Exclusives are not a good idea. Can you just sell the figures at regular retail? Stop the exclusives. Let everybody have the opportunity to buy the figures. We want to buy them and collect them. We are not freaking Indiana Jones looking for the Saint Grail. Please don't overthink the process. Collecting is supposed to be fun and not stressful and confusing. Also, Haulathon and Geekathon or whatever were also bad ideas. Please stop. Just sell them regular. Please.
Okay.
Go back to regular.
Go back to regular.
Mhm.
You know, I liked it when there was only 3 flavors of jelly beans.
Yeah.
Having said that, it is confusing, and I've read
It
the
is
whole
confusing.
press release multiple times,
Oh man.
and I still don't get it. But we'll figure it out eventually. All right, Dan, you have a sad comment. Where's this coming from?
This is from Pixel Dan's Eternia
Perfect.
video.
Very good.
One of the videos he put up in the last couple of days from the Mattel event.
Mhm.
All right, from the Mattel Influencers Only event, revealing all the details on Eternia and Snake Mountain. Here we go. Sad comments. Dan Larson exclusively on Toy Anxiety. This is very exciting.
Never liked how Snake Mountain playset looked with that corny kids Halloween face thing. The Filmation Snake Mountain was actually mature looking and menacing. Don't even get me started on Eternia playset. That thing is hideous and never looked like it belongs in MOTU universe. Give that stupid thing to the Thundercats. It seems like a better fit. But I don't think Thundercats deserve that eyesore either. Why do people like that stupid thing?
Okay. Thank you for that. First of all,
Yeah, acting chops. That's great.
that has a couple key components of a sad comment, of a Hall of Fame sad comment, which is they make a point and then they keep going and completely contradict the thing that they just
That
said.
they just said.
I know there was some commentary on the internet on YouTube last week about people. I'll put it this way, and this is not calling anybody out. Everyone can have opinions, but if your opinion is that Eternia was never cool and it's a stupid playset, it's like, come on, it is cool. It's awesome.
That's the sign of someone who never owned it.
Right, exactly. Give this thing to the Thundercats. By the way, they don't deserve it. This thing's stupid. I love
You know
it.
what? I did. I did give it to the Thundercats. I also gave it to Battle Beasts for a little bit too. It was great.
Shared custody. All right, thank you, Dan. Jake, you have another one?
Yeah, this is another just confusing NECA
Auto-tune.
comment.
All
Sure.
right. NFTs. Wave of the future, I say. Here we go.
I know you guys are a growing company, but Demon don't grow to those dudes. What? I mean, I know NECA is just part of one actual company, but why take it to these places that make collectors just annoyed? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you my money for a figure that I'm not gonna get, but it will be stored. No! It's Walmart! They will sell it and hope more from the factory arrives when you ask for your own stuff. And if it doesn't, Walmart will say, oops, sorry, our mistake.
Okay. So let me get this straight. Is this platform a thing where you buy it and it's an actual physical thing, but you don't get it until you elect to get it sent to you? Is it like, because it sounds like Upper Deck digital card trading. It doesn't matter. See,
I don't know.
Is it like Pile of Loot? Where I can go on to Big Bad Toy Store, look at the toys I bought in JPEG form until I'm ready, and then it's
to
sent
claim them, they don't show up in time. Dan, you have another one?
Yeah, I'm going to call an audible here, and I'm actually going to go with a comment that was left on our G.I. Joe the movie on one of our videos.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool. A little audible. This is fun.
I'm not crying.
Here we go. No, you're good.
He's a method actor.
I honestly couldn't get into G.I. Joe back in the 80s. Cobra was always betrayed as being incompetent, but somehow always survived. How does the incompetent and evil Cobra always manage to recruit an army? Why would anyone want to join an organization that is incompetent and evil? How does G.I. Joe always fail to completely wipe out Cobra when they are the best soldiers America can find?
Oh my god. There's so much to unpack
There is so much.
That is a whole new level of
That's
Song.
yeah.
that is so layered.
like
Oh
where do
my
you even
God.
start?
He's asking the
Like,
hard questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, he's talking about the profits of
Well, it all comes down to the training. You know?
yeah. He's talking about yeah, wow, that was a good one. Thank you, Dan, for sharing.
How can anyone join? How can a large group of people join an incompetent convoy? I can't imagine.
Stop. Ryan, shut up. Call your sister. Jake, do you have another one?
I got one more. And
Okay.
I know at one point I swore these off. And I said I wasn't going to do these comments anymore. But you know what? NECA was asking for it.
Okay.
They're doing you know, their Halloween reveals. And one of their teases was a new Chucky figure. So
Okay.
I thought for old time's sake, we're going to do a Chucky comment.
All right. For old time's sake, the Chucky fans are not happy. Here we
They're
go.
not happy.
Mhm.
In general. They're just not happy.
And they go hard.
All right, here we go.
No. No, no. 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 2.5 years I've paid and waited for these life-size Chucky. And the first Halloween Chucky post you guys give us is this. Trick or Treat is literally about to put out 2 more dolls in December, and all you guys keep doing is putting us in the dark, telling us it's gonna get released in this timeline, and then you change it over and over. I'm in the military, and I'm constantly moving. Do you know how annoying it is that I have to change my address every time because you keep delaying it?
You know, Chucky was in the military in the third movie.
Oh my god!
Soldier, get in here. You're being deployed. No,
Thanks, Toy Connections.
Not again.
not again. Got to change my address with NECA. Please. Please keep me here. Holy shit. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I have one
That
last
was
short
amazing.
one.
Oh,
All right.
All right.
Close us out.
Real short.
This is perfect.
It's
Perfect.
back to Dan's video.
Back to Dan's video. Eternia. All right, we'll do one more.
It's actually Origins Snake Mountain.
Okay, Snake Mountain. Here we go. People are not happy. The pictures just came out hours ago.
It's the hurt is still real.
Mhm.
Right.
I noticed that the new Origins Snake Mountain does not have the demon faces on the inside like the vintage. That is a big letdown.
I didn't know it didn't have that.
Oh,
I don't know.
Ryan's like, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I need more demons in my place.
Oh my god. They literally like this is the that's dark times, baby.
.com.
It's really tough out there.
It's tough out there for these Chucky
Mhm,
collectors.
mhm.
I did like when you said Chucky was in the military. That was very funny.
Yeah, it's my
Um,
favorite Chucky movie. Child's Play movie.
Good stuff tonight. Well, Dan, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Absolutely.
This was really, really fun. We appreciate your time. Everybody go check out Toy Galaxy and all the content that Dan puts out. Make sure you check out Gotham City Tonight, the new Yes Have Some channel on YouTube. Monster Island. There's too much. I'm done.
Too much.
Mhm. Yeah,
What-
we're out there. Just come find us.
Well, why did back in 2016? Remember, I was like, we should start a podcast. You guys should have said no. Our lives are really stressful.
Hey, I think me and Abby did say no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Aren't there
Probably.
enough
I remember I said, "What's a podcast?"
Right.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. All right, everybody. We will see you next week. And if you are part of the Patreon, the link has been posted in Discord as well as on our Patreon feed. So join us for Extreme Toy Anxiety in about 5 minutes or so. We'll do another 20-25 minutes of bonus audio and video for y'all. Until next time, my name is Craig Goldberg. For Ryan Dole, Jacob Walsh, Dan Larson, Abigail Gardner, and the United States military and the Cobra. The Cobra commanders.
And Chucky and Tiffany.
And Chucky
And
and
to all
Tiffany.
those firefighters in the
Soldiers
chat.
in America.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
that's-
Yeah.
To the
most
best soldiers in
elite
America.
force.
Well, SoCal said it earlier. He's like, well, if Cobra loses, there's no show anymore. It's just like
Mhm.
the G.I. Joes doing desk work. And nobody wants it. All right, everybody. We will see you next time.
Education.
And the music is now going to play. If I
Cool.
I
press
want
See
the
y'all at
right
the
G.I.
button.
after
Joe
party.
cubicle playset.
Where is the music? There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
And to the guy who always asks, what song is this? And I always reply, it's the Toy Anxiety theme song. Have a great week.
Thanks, Dan.
Bye, guys.
This is your song.
This is my song.